To understand attachment is to see that every human heart longs to hold on and to be held onto. In meeting this need, we unlock the very blueprint for human flourishing. Welcome to the Connect Method Parenting Podcast, where correction is out, connection is in, and your kids want to listen to you. I'm Andy Martineau, creator of Connect Method Parenting, here to help you stay calm, confident, and connected no matter what. Okay, so what's our role as we think about this whole dynamic? Let's remind ourselves, or let's get acquainted with this for the first time if you've never heard of this. I want you to think of your role as the traffic director. So it's not to fix every problem. It's not to make the emotions go away. It's not to make them mean anything other than this is exactly what should be happening right now. It's to act as a traffic director for your child's emotions. So we need to judge the path that is best suited for our child in this situation. Do we want to help them change the situation? Do we want to help them fix the problem? Maybe they're frustrated with homework. Do we want to help make this easier for them? Sometimes that is the best suited solution. Can we get them out of the traffic circle of frustration by aiding them in fixing the problem? Sometimes that is exactly the right decision. Or do we want to take them to exit 2? I'll pull this up again so you can see it. Or do you want to take them to exit 2, which is where they change themselves? Can you see that? Oh, there we go. Do I want to help them change the situation, make the homework easier? Do I want to help them feel their sadness about what can't be changed and help move them to tears? Do they need encouragement to find their courage, to face what alarms them? Are they getting close to foul frustration? I can't change the situation. They're not really in any place to feel their emotions. Do I just need to do exit 2A, which I don't have on here, which is let them punch, hit, move their body, get it out somehow? By creating a safe space for emotions and guiding the child toward adaptations, you're going to help them develop emotional resilience. You're going to also develop deeper roots of attachment with them. They're going to feel safer with you. So many things are happening. One of my favorite quotes that I believe illustrates this so beautifully is by Maurice Sendak. He wrote Where the Wild Things Are. It's one of my favorite books. If you haven't read it, it's a beautiful picture book where the little boy gets upset. He's in his room and he goes to this land with monsters. Anyway, it's a beautiful book. But he said this just a few years before he died. And he said, "I'm not unhappy. I cry a lot because I miss people. I cry a lot because they die and I can't stop them. They leave me and I love them more. I'm not unhappy, but I cry a lot." We can cry over the futility of loss and not be unhappy. It's this simple, beautiful, heartbreaking process of adaptation to life separations, to things that don't work. Our primary role isn't to discipline or correct behavior in the traditional sense, but to create an environment where our child feels profoundly attached to us, where their need for attachment is met, and where they can safely navigate their powerful, their pre-programmed emotions that feel so big and so strong, and they can feel as though they're taking over their bodies. They can navigate them in a productive way. Since facing separation is a child's greatest threat, the parent's mission is to be the answer to that threat by providing consistent, unconditional connection and guiding them through their emotional experiences. This approach is grounded in the understanding that connection, not correction, is what heals and fosters healthy development. Here's some strategies to help you. 1, provide unconditional connection. Since a child's preeminent need is for togetherness, if we can aim to provide more connection than the child is actively seeking, we're going to be on the right track. This helps the child's need for togetherness feel satiated in their attachment needs, allowing their nervous system to rest and their thinking brain to come online. It sets that up so much better than anything else we could do. It doesn't guarantee it happens. There's so many other things. They might have a diagnosis. They might have had a trauma in their life. They might just feel very disconnected from something else that's happened. But providing unconditional connection, providing more connection than they're even seeking, is going to do nothing but juice up the situation, help you create more possibilities than would ever be there if you went right to correction. So how do we do this? We satisfy the needs for proximity, so you help your child feel close to you, not just physically, but emotionally. This means being a safe harbor, offering a soft heart, conveying that the relationship can handle any emotional storm they throw your way, any behavior that comes up. The goal is for the child to be able to take the relationship for granted, meaning they have no doubt that you will be there for them, no matter their behavior. To be insecure in a relationship is to be alarmed. When I say take the relationship for granted, I do not mean take you for granted. I mean, they take the relationship for granted like we take a sunrise for granted. We do not worry that it's going to happen. It happens every day, right when it's supposed to happen. The sun rises every day. It doesn't miss a few days. It doesn't keep us wondering or nervous about it. We have a very secure, you could say, attachment relationship with the sun. We can take it for granted. It doesn't care what we do or say. It rises every single day. So can we do that for our kids? I know we all unconditionally love our kids. Don't get me wrong. I don't doubt that for anybody that's on this call. I don't doubt that you love your child unconditionally, but can you help them feel it no matter what? Can you get your nervous system in a place where no matter what crazy shenanigans they do, you are showing up in a way that shows they're safe with you, that the attachment is strong, the relationship is not threatened, there is no ill will between you. So that's the most important thing. The second thing that we have to avoid or do, but it is an avoidant thing, is avoid separation-based discipline. So first was to satisfy the need for proximity, and the second is to avoid separation-based discipline. It's crucial that we refrain from discipline techniques that leverage a child's greatest fear against them. What I mean by this, things like timeouts, isolation, withdrawing affection, threatening to leave. They're powerful because they tap into the primal threats of separation. So that's why these tactics, they work momentarily because they trigger pursuit. They inflame the child's limbic system. They leave behind a residue of alarm and frustration that manifests later in anxiety and aggression. This approach erodes trust-based relationships that are essential for true influence. So we might get a shift in behavior in the moment, but the fallout, if we could see it so clearly, we would never dip our toe in it. It's just never worth it. The exception to this is when we raise our voice because our child's about to run in the road. That will definitely kick in their separation-based discipline because they're feeling our anxiety, our worry, our anger even. That's the only time we should ever use something like that. When there's physical danger threatened in the moment, it's imminent. But for everything else, avoid it. Avoid it, avoid it. The lack of leverage and influence and impact you get down the road, if we could measure it, if it was more obvious, we would never, ever engage in it because we would see that the cost benefit is so off. It never works. Now, when you do it, we're going to repair. You're going to do it. You're going to accidentally do it, I promise. So you're going to repair and it's going to be fine. But if the intention is, hey, I'm not going to use separation-based techniques. I'm not going to use timeouts, isolation. I'm not going to withdraw attention. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to threaten. I'm not going to go punitive, which is very different than setting a limit. When I say set a limit, it's a connective limit where I say in a very compassionate, alpha way, no, we can't have a cookie, but I'm doing it with such an emotion dialed and such a regulated nervous system that the relationship doesn't get threatened as I set the limit. So very different than separation-based techniques or discipline techniques. Okay, third, when separations are unavoidable, when we have to drop our kids off to school, when they have to go to bed, when we're going on a trip, when we've had to set a limit, and even though we've done our very best to set it in a very connective way, they might feel a little bit of separation. They might feel maybe something's wrong. Maybe mom's really mad at me. She's looking pretty good right now, but I'm not sure. We are going to proactively bridge the gap by putting the emphasis on the next point of connection. So this can be done by saying things like, I can't wait to read a book with you tonight, or I'll be thinking of you today and we'll connect after school. Not just I love you. It's a thing that you're doing together, a moment you're having together later. And this helps the child's brain hold on to the connection even when you're apart. So let's talk about this idea of the traffic director for emotions. When a child's overwhelmed by their emotions, the parent's job is to act as the traffic director, like I was saying before. So you're going to make a judgment about which path of resolution is needed in the moment. 3 outcomes. Here we go. Move to caution. If the child is facing real danger or heading for trouble, the goal is to elicit their alarm to move them into caution. This is about helping them see the potential negative consequences to protect them from harm. You're going to do this in a very connective way. You're going to say, hey, I don't think you should run in the street. That's very different than yelling at them, giving them a consequence, trying to threaten them with something down the road. But that's a real physical danger, imminent threat. That's what I'm saying. That's the only time that you're going to do that. Usually as a traffic director, you're going to see if they need help changing the situation. Either you or them need to have the situation changed because you're too triggered, or just because it's not a big deal. You don't really care that much about the cookie. You don't really care that much about the thing you just asked them to do And so you change it. Like, yeah, you can stay up 30 minutes later. It's totally fine. You do it in a very alpha way, but you help them change. Or you say, oh, I'll help you figure out that math problem, right? You help them solve the thing that's frustrating them. Or as a traffic director, do they need to feel the futility and be moved to tears? Again, because they're up against something that is not working for them. The friend did not invite them to the birthday party, and there's no way you can help them get invited to that birthday party. So you're going to help be the midwife of their emotion that's inside of them and birth it out. Do you want to move them to courage? So if what alarms a child is standing in the way of something they truly desire, this treasure, this thing they want to try out for the school play, but they're so afraid of it, then is your role to help them. Again, this would be an adaptation thing. Take exit 2, but help encourage them to find their courage. Not telling them don't be afraid, but acknowledging, yeah, this is something worth being afraid of. I get it. You're alarmed about this, while simultaneously helping them hold on to their desire. You can be scared and brave at the same time. I still remember my daughter, who's 23 now, when she was in high school. She went to a new school. She was a junior. She wanted to try out for the play. She was so nervous. And she came to me one day before tryouts and said, Mom, I'm not sure I should do this. I feel really terrible. I think it's a sign that this is not going to work out well. And I said, no, it's just a sign that you're really scared. And it would be weird if you weren't. And we talked about it. And we created the conditions where she could feel it all the way through. And she went and tried out. It was a beautiful experience. Okay, really quickly. When a child is not developmentally ready or too emotionally overwhelmed to handle a situation, we can step in and do the work of the emotion with them. This means assuming a responsibility for fixing the problem or helping to come alongside them when it's too much for them to handle, when the emotional toll is just overloading them. The work of frustration is to affect change. If a child is consistently overwhelmed by cleaning their room, and this is ongoing, the parent can help change the situation by assisting them or breaking down it into smaller steps. This is not enabling. It is creating an environment with less fuel for aggression so the child's nervous system can calm down and mature and take what they can handle. Let's talk about alarm. The work of alarm is to move someone to caution. So the parent can do this or help a child who's feeling a lot of alarm by removing the child from an alarming situation or providing some safety or some guidance or some help and support if something's really alarmed. Like the tryout situation I was just talking about. My daughter was really alarmed, so I provided safety for the alarm. It's okay to feel the alarm. It's okay to feel scared. That's normal. And for pursuit, the work of pursuit is to close the separation gap. So the parent can do this by offering connection, bridging separation, providing objects that the child can hold on to when apart. So if it's a bedtime thing, how can I reduce the separation they're feeling? Maybe I put a picture by the side of their bed. Maybe I give them a locket. Maybe we both have the same blanket. Maybe I spray some of my perfume. I record myself singing a song and they listen to that as I'm not in the room and they're still able to stay connected to the senses. I'm going to the base root of connection, the base attachment root, and saying, how can I stay connected through the easiest way? The senses. We can also help our child by changing our relationship, the conversations we're having as a family with frustration. Treating frustration is not a problem to be eliminated, but as normal, necessary, and manageable. So if we have a child who's frustrated, they have a lot of aggression, they're angry, things aren't going their way, normalize the frustration. Let your child know that feeling frustration is okay. Nothing's gone wrong. I see you're frustrated. I can tell you have a lot of yells in you right now. Let's get those out. So we're welcoming it in. We're modeling a healthy relationship with them. We might even share, I was frustrated today too and not about them, but maybe because the weather was so different than I wanted it to be and I didn't get to go on my walk or whatever. And then facilitate safe eruptions. So the first law of emotion is that it seeks expression. So help your child find their natural bend for releasing frustration. Are they a hitter, a screamer, a runner? Can we provide safe ways, productive outlets for them, like a punching bag, jumping on a trampoline, running outside to get those attacking impulses out? Again, that's like exit 2A. Sword fights, war games, wrestling. What do they like to do? And can we facilitate ahead of time, even before, maybe if we know they just have pent up emotions, frustration, let's just get it out. Let's preempt it. Every day after school, we have a 5-minute sword fight. We just move. I want to leave you with this idea that we started at the beginning. I want to circle back. Attachment is the invisible force that shapes who we become. Attachment is both our source of greatest vulnerability, meaning the threat to separation that feels so hard. It's our greatest vulnerability, the threat to a solid relationship, feeling like we're not wanted, like we're messing up. That's so vulnerable. It's so hard. That's so raw. That feels so terrible. And we start doing crazy things when that happens. And the wellspring of our greatest strength, which is connection, the security that comes from knowing someone has us regardless. So powerful. So when we can provide unconditional closeness and guide our children through the emotions of pursuit, alarm, and frustration, it does more than ease distress. We're planting deep roots that make resilience and maturity and love possible. So the path is not correction, but connection, not control, but courage, not perfection, but presence. So to understand attachment is to see that every human heart longs to hold on and to be held onto, and that in meeting this need, we unlock the very blueprint for human flourishing. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, come check out my Connect Method Parenting Coaching Program, where we take this material and we apply it using my proven formula. Head over to cmp.works/join.